Sweet, how are we doing, mate? How are you doing today?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, sweet. So just give us a quick intro into yourself, your upbringing, how old you are, how you got into Muay Thai, everything like that.
So my name's Ryan Grover. I'm 24 years old. I said 23 a minute ago. I'm 24. It was my birthday this time last week.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, brother. 24 years old. I got into Muay Thai when I was... Do you know what? I always, I wanted to sort of... I never watched fights or anything, but I just said to my dad if he could take me down to the boxing gym, just have a little move around. When I was about 13, I did a few sessions here and there. You know what it's like, the Virgin Active gyms with the PTs holding pads like that. You know, so I started off like that, and then he moved into Bromley, into this apartment, and right next door was Double K Gym. And this was right in their golden era where they had all the superstars. I mean, if I started naming them some now, I'd miss some out. But, you know, the Whelan brothers, Grace Spicer, Brutal Boswick, Evan, Sid, some fantastic fighters in there. And I just started going to the training sessions, loving the training. And, yeah, I mean, if I didn't go to a session and living right next door to it, I'd have to be double lazy. You know what I mean? So that's the way it went. Just started training, progressing from there.
Sweet. So what was the first experience you had in Muay Thai where you're like, you know what, I love this? Do you have something specific that you remember?
I do. Again, they will hate me talking about this, but my mum and dad have been divorced for quite a few years before this happened. Don't speak often, that kind of thing. But in my second ever amateur fight, it was at Scala nightclub, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. I just won my fight. Coming off a loss, like I was kind of like thinking, I don't know whether I'll win this, but I'll just get in there. And I won the fight quite well as well. I had a great fight, and I looked into the crowd after my hand got raised, and I saw my mum and dad give each other a hug after years of not speaking, communication, and it was one of the best things I've ever witnessed. It just goes to show what comes with this sport, you know?
Yeah.
A lot on the line.
A lot of people don't realise because it's such a violent sport, you wouldn't expect it to bring people in together.
Exactly that.
Like when he had a charity fight, 30, 40 people coming in to come just watch him and screaming his name. It's crazy. So anyway, what makes you want to fight, you know, like as a career? And because a lot of people do it as a hobby. Like I do it as a hobby, he does it as a hobby. But to take it to a professional level, going to Thailand for a year, what makes you want to do that?
Do you know what? It was always the people around me. So, I mean, ever since I stepped into Double K at Bromley, I was always surrounded by champions, and I always loved the training. I was just training. When I was training with them, so, you know, you're surrounded with people of a mindset of being champions. So slowly but surely, like my mindset started changing as well, thinking, oh, I could do this, you know, I'll give it a go. And I was always in Kieran Kettle's ear, asking him for a fight as well, because I had that confidence from all the people around me. But what made me want to fight was just seeing the progress in training. You know, I never really wanted to fight. I just wanted to get in there, train, and feel good after a training session. Mm-hmm. So I just kept turning up, and over time, get better and better and better. That's something the amateurs don't do now, by the way.
What?
Get your head down for a good start. Get your head down. If I said to Kieran Kettle within the first 4 months of me training that I wanted to fight, he would have slapped the life out of me. And he did.
Yeah. You got to be ready because it's a dangerous sport, even at the amateur level. People are getting hurt, so.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And then not only that, I mean, the amateur game, I'm talking like I'm ancient, but now with all the cameras, all the videos on you, you know, it's not just getting in there and having a bit of fun well, not even as it used to be, because it was never, you know, it's never like being a soft sport. But like now, when you're going in there, you've got the cameras on you, so if anything goes on, you're on the highlights reel. You know what I mean? So you've got to be double prepared. Yeah,
that's true. Do you remember your first loss? How you felt? Amateur even?
Yeah, I was a cocky little sod. I was back in the day. I got into this. I remember the whole crowd. It was against a guy called Nico. And he was a great fighter. It's a shame he's retired, actually, but I think he's got wife, kids. You know the drill. You get to a certain stage of life, didn't you? Mm-hmm. But everyone was chanting Nico. And to be fair, I had a good bit of boxing with him, but he had a very good kick on me. And yeah, after our loss, I pretended like I didn't care. You know, it was. I've had stages of great humbleness in the sport and stages of cockiness when I was obviously very young. But you have that mindset, didn't you? So
absolutely,
yeah.
Would you say that's the biggest hurdle, or do you think there's something outside the ring that's been harder?
No, biggest hurdles throughout the sport, and it's not actually within the fighting, it is probably the weight cuts leading up to the fights. So I remember in Double K, weight cutting was a big part of the culture. All the fighters in there were cutting weight. You know, I mean, even when we were training with Luke, I remember he brought in a little shopping bag one time and someone saw yogurts in there. Went, bloody hell, Luke, you having a yogurt tonight or something? He turned around and went, that's my dinner. I thought, oh, God. So the whole weight cutting, I think, is the biggest hurdle. I mean, I missed weight one time, and the hurdle from that was I felt so embarrassed that I couldn't fight the next day. It was genuinely difficult to go and face Luke in the gym. So I gave it a couple of weeks, let it mellow down a little bit, and then got back in there. But you know what? After you get over that hurdle of missing weight, you grow, don't you? So it was a make or break moment for my amateur career, especially. So yeah,
I know, because even when I cut weight for the first time, like especially when you haven't done it before, it's a new experience. You can do it wrong and feel so weak going into the fight. Do you feel like sometimes you went in there with a bad weight cut and you feel like it's drained you to a point where it's affected your performance?
Oh my God, my first fight in Thailand, right? So I remember it clear as day. I'd just come off the back of my nose injury, and I got to the point now where I'm fit. And my friend Dave had a rib injury in Thailand, and he had a slot at Rajadhanam. And he said to Superbon, I can't fight. So the next day, Superbon said to me, he said, do you want to fight next week? Maybe Thursday. And this was about Friday the week before. I said, yeah. I said, absolutely I do. I said, if I've got Monday to Thursday to cut weight, I could probably do it. Probably, big word. It's going to be a really hard thing to do. Anyway, so we go out on Sunday, and I think Sunday I'll have a nice feed up, because next week it's going to be really difficult. On Monday morning, I came into the gym, and Kru Jeng, my trainer in Thailand, he's like a dad to me. He's just a great man. He said, Ryan? I said, yeah. He said, do you want to fight tomorrow?
Thailand for you, eh?
I didn't even take a moment. I went, yes. I got onto the scales, 6 kilo to lose. And this was in the morning. So I got the sweatsuit on, and on that day, I run 26 kilometers in a sweatsuit and sauna in the evening. But I didn't care. I was buzzing. I'm fighting Rajadhanam tomorrow on the Tuesday slot. I'm happy. I'm buzzing. I got in on the Tuesday, and the worst thing about it was I made the weight quite well. It was quite good that it was in a short amount of time, to be fair. I didn't really think about anything. I just went for it. And on the refuel, it was terrible, because same day weighing. Yeah. And that's something I've never experienced before. So as soon as I got off the scales, I'm thinking, right, where is everything? I'm having it, drinking. I need to get some energy in for later that night. Yeah, that didn't go too well. I remember, it was quite funny. My friend Com, Lumpini champion he is, but he's a really good boy. He was doing up my laces, and I remember I felt really sick. So I've had a little spew, but managed to hold most of it back. But a little bit of water or bile just come out, and it's dripped on his arm. And he's looked up at me. He's gone, Vaseline? I went, yeah, Vaseline, yeah. So I mean, I was thinking to myself, I hope he doesn't hit me with a body shot, because I'm going to spew all over Rajadhanam in my first ever fight. So yeah, that was the trickiest bit. That was that weight cut, but I still loved it. I'm so happy I got in there on that first fight. I loved every second of it.
Getting over those hurdles are moments that you're going to remember. But I think same day weighing's got to be like cancelled or something. Had one once before and never again.
But see, there's two arguments to that though, isn't there? Because then you don't get the whole sort of people killing themselves to make weight either. Yeah. I mean, I know I did that day, but that was on one day's notice. But you see all these people cutting ridiculous amount of weight because they think the opponent's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
In most cases.
Yeah.
Do you know, the thing is with weight cut is there's never a right answer to it. No matter what anyone says. It's part of the culture. To get rid of it, you're taking away aspects of everyone's career. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's part of it for them. So there's really no correct answer about weight cutting.
What do you think about weight cutting in Thai, like for Thai fighters? Because they don't cut as much weight as, you know, maybe MMA fighters or something like that. So what do you think about that?
It's hilarious. The way they do it is actually quite funny. I mean, I know they do it. There's a few sort of missed weights on one championship, but I think that has a lot for them to. They're all thinking about the hydration as well. Yeah, they're still eating normal food, but just they'll slowly take away the rice on that week. I remember I was speaking to Pet Moricott. Golf is his nickname is. And he had 4 kilos to lose in like 3 days. I went, "You good with that?" He went, "Easy. So yeah, it's a funny thing out there. But they do it their style, and their style, whether it's right or wrong, it works, and it works for them.
Yeah, I was thinking because they are usually quite undersized. Like Superlek was meant to fight Krulo tomorrow.
Yep.
And there's no way those two are walking around anywhere near the same amount of weight. So it's like, I don't think Superlek is going to be struggling with weight cuts as much as someone like Krulo.
Yep.
And also like Rod Tang and stuff.
Yep.
You know, they try to rely on their skill, I feel. Like, more than just trying to get down to the lowest weight they can, you know.
Got you, yeah.
Yeah, so tell us how it looks in a day. Then you have a fight coming up. How would a regular day look like?
So, I mean, I've got to take it back to Thailand with a fight coming up. I'll tell you the day in Thailand, and I could tell you a day from here. But it will sound like 2 different games. So in Thailand, it's getting up and it's running either 5 kilometers if I wanted to hit pads, or 10 kilometers to get on the bag and do S&C in the morning. It all depends on your energy. I find when you've got a fight coming up and you're slowly taking away food from your diet, hitting the pads in the morning as well is double difficult. So, I mean, I'd run the 10 kilometers, get on the bag, strength and conditioning, and I'll be in there for about 3 hours. So that'd be a 3-hour training session in the morning. You're getting in at, this is about 10:30. You're getting something to eat quick because you're knackered. So get something to eat. You're going to sleep, and you're waking up around 2 o'clock, getting the coffee in, getting straight out there for afternoon training, which is 15-minute skipping. It's 15-minute shadow boxing. It's about 30 burpees. Then you're straight either on the bag or on the pads. I was always called up first because me and Kru Jeng, we're like that. Yeah. But so straight on the pad rounds, and then you've got your speed kicks, other drills that might involve like some form of cardio way of like pushing yourself. You know, like maybe 2 kicks, block kick either side 10 times, and then once you've done that, done your planking, you're in for sparring. After sparring, you're going running. After you're running, you're doing your sit-ups and press-ups, then you're done. That's 6 o'clock. And then you're back in, you're ready to do it all over again. And of course, that does turn down as you get close to the fight day, but then you're more focused on the running. Mm-hmm. So it might be dropping out sparring, etc., etc.
It's really like a lifestyle, especially in Thailand. It's like a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. And do you know what? I watch videos of fights from back here of people fighting in big stages, and I think I couldn't do that. If I'm in Thailand, I'm watching that same video, I'm looking at everything those 2 boys do, because I'm thinking that one day that'll be me. Because the mindset's completely different as well. Mm-hmm. When I'm out there, I'm doing 6 hours of training every day with superstars. Yes. I'm thinking I can go on against anybody here. Win or lose, I could have a right old go. So the mindset, the change in mindset is mental.
Yeah, tell us about how it is training with superstars like Superbon, who's fighting tomorrow night. And you've been talking to Pet Moricott and stuff. One of my favorite fighters. How is it to be in an environment with fighters like that?
It got normal, which is so weird to say. You know, I mean, I remember when I broke my nose and I had a knock on the door. I didn't even tell this man anything. Superbon walks in with a vitamin C ginger juice, gives it to me, and he says, "How are you?" I said, "I can't breathe." He starts laughing. You know, out there training with Daniel, Jojo, Petanong, Nongo, everyone, and they are the best group of guys ever.
How is it sparring superstars like Nongo?
Was the bit that I look forward to the most, going in there and getting. And the thing is, every 2 minutes, Nongo would stop me and just say, "Do this," or Superbon would walk past and say, "Do this." You know, the attention to detail for everyone in that fight class, it's unmatched. Sparring them was very tricky at the start.
I can imagine.
You know, I was getting head kicked every 2 minutes. I think I said a minute ago, every time the camera lady walked past, she managed to get a clip of me getting head kicked. You know, I thought, thanks for that, love. You couldn't have picked a worse time. But yeah, I think he did it for the camera. But yeah, you know, I've taken horrendous body shots off Nongo, black eyes off him. And Superbon, I've had head kicks galore. I've had 30 in a row. And Daniel, he just lights me up. So, I mean, but do you know what? I went in there and, you know, you love it. You do. You love it.
Yeah. Who would you say is the hardest person you sparred?
Daniel
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He's massive, isn't he, as well?
The thing is, it's just he doesn't look like he should be as strong as he is. I'm not critiquing him. He might see this, you know what I mean? But flipping hell, he hits mentally hard, and he makes it look effortless as well.
He has amazing combos as well.
Yeah.
Like fast combos.
Yeah.
I was watching his fight against Rotorda and he looked amazing.
Yeah.
Those combos with the left hand to the body and everything.
Nothing crazy either. That's what I like about him. Simple, hits it hard and follows it up. Make sure there's speed on it as well. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a beauty to watch.
Yeah.
So I know you took you had 1 year off at a point. Maybe was it because of injuries or whatever. But how was that year? Was it a struggle or?
I've never taken training off. Mm-hmm. And I feel like sometimes in everyone's career, I don't know anyone who's done if they've been in the game for longer than 4 years, I'm saying, who have done it all and done it fought and just carried on all the way through. Maybe Tom Kirk at the moment, actually. But, you know, I think it's part of it where sometimes people have a break. Mm-hmm. Of fighting, of it, or even maybe of training. But I think that is a key to sort of leveling up. Give it like missing it a little bit, you know. Mm-hmm. So I did have a long time off at one point, and I came back better. I just felt better. So I think, you know, at the time, it feels awful not being in the gym, and you're feeling like, oh, do I even go back now? It's been that long. But then once you do go back, you realise, you know, some things just don't change, and actually, I'm enjoying it. Because you're going through that learning process again.
Yeah. The fire comes back, you know.
The fight comes back.
It can be burning out. You can burn out, especially when you're having fights back to back and stuff.
Exactly.
And also just talk about how is the mental toll of having a fight? Because I know for me, I had like 2 months to get ready for my fight and it was on my mind all the time. I was always thinking about different techniques, waking up midnight to getting up, trying to try new things. So
seeing reels at night, putting it on notes.
Yeah.
Saving the video. Yeah. Do you know what? It's mental. So in the UK, I must have done exactly the same. Watch reels, non-stop thinking about it. Not only that, it's always on your mind as well because I was never going out for meals with anyone. I wasn't seeing my mates for maybe weeks and months. Mm-hmm. In Thailand, I honestly, I didn't think twice about it. I didn't care. Once I got a name of someone as well, the French fella, I thought, hard to get the names of the Thais out there, but, you know, honestly, I didn't care because I knew that I was ready. Mm-hmm. So it comes from that as well. After a couple of years, you realise that you're in there to actually enjoy it a little bit. I know it sounds silly, it's a fight, but you're in there to give it a little bit of some, you know, give it some welly. So to me, my mindset completely changed, but it was a little bit shaky, starty, and it finished even up to now, being calm, relaxed, and just enjoying the process.
Yeah, I think people forget to enjoy the process, because especially for Muay Thai, most of us aren't making good money off this.
There you go.
It's for the passion, so
there you go.
I think you've got to remember that, you know, especially when you have fights coming up.
Yeah, 100%.
So, bit of a straightforward question, but what are your goals in Muay Thai, if you have any? Is it just to enjoy it?
Do you know what? It's hard because, I mean, when I went to Thailand, I kind of let my career be dictated by Kru Jing, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So as soon as I went out there, before I had the nose injury, we said we warm up, gradually let them knock out, and we see where we go from there. Now, I got 2 out of 3 wins there this year. I could have had way more. But, you know, the next step would have been Fairtex fight, and then it would have been one championship. But those next steps were never down to me. They were down to my coach. I've always listened to my coach. Here in Thailand, I've been blessed to have such great trainers, and I've never said to them, this is where I want to be. I've let them say, this is where you're going to be. So, I mean, of course, in my mind, I'd love to be RWS champion. I'd love to go to one championship and give it a right. I'll go on there. Mm-hmm. In my mind, that's fantastic. In real life, I let my future be dictated by those who see me every day train. Yeah. That's the way I think that's the way I think in some cases for fighters it should be. But you know what? People have got that natural, if you think it, say it, make it happen. That's fantastic as well.
Yeah. I think that's a good mindset, because it's important to, you know, get a different perspective, especially from a coach that's been in the game for so long.
Exactly.
They can tell you the truth and be honest, and they'll take you where you need to be when you're ready.
Exactly.
Not like, because of course all of us have an ego and we want to get to the top as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But with a coach there, they'll tell you, listen, you're ready now for this, and you're going to be ready then for that. And yeah, it's good to have that, especially just for safety, and then also so your career can go the right way, because it's such a volatile sport. Getting injuries and stuff, you want to take it the right way, you know?
Exactly.
So, what's your current take on the scene, you know? I know now a lot of Western fighters are getting onto one championship and taking over. What's your scene? What's your take on the scene now, and what do you think it's going to look like in the future?
I mean, with one championship, it's breaking me a little bit watching like Pampayak lose, even, you know, Nongo being on the back foot. That kind, it doesn't feel right to me. But then that's almost like an exciting new sport to me, one championship. So that scene of it, I still love the fights. I hate seeing like the old schools lose, like the top tier fighters. I mean, even from a guy who's only had 7 fights against Pampayak. But in terms of RWS, you know, I think that scene is always impressively improving to me. I mean, you know, whether they do the 3-round tournaments or it's a 5-round title fight, you've got still fantastic ties at the top of the game, starting from the 18-year-old Kuntuklek.
Yeah, amazing fighter.
Working all the way up to Daniel taking on Richuda. I mean, the fights there are just absolute great fights.
So yeah, so do you prefer 10 ounce over the 4 ounce gloves?
10 ounce all day long, all day long. I mean, the 4 ounce, they just feel like you've got nothing on your hands. I mean, fighting in them, I'll give that a right. I'll go. I've always said that. I've always wanted. Do you know what? When I was out in Thailand, I know just a minute ago I said I'll let my coach decide, but I always told people I'd love to give that Thai fight a go with the rope. I thought that would be quite cool,
mate.
But yeah, I mean, I've never fought in 4 ounce gloves, so I wouldn't never be able to relate to it.
Yeah, it's a different sport.
But when I see people do it, I think, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a different sport that we can even see from one championship that the 4 ounce gloves makes a massive game changer. You know, it's not just about technique anymore; it's about your power, your size, your speed, your boxing, especially. So
yeah,
it's different. It's a little bit of a different sport. And if you're like a traditionalist, it's kind of sad to see, you know. What's your favorite? Who's your favorite fighter, present and also an all time, if you have? Hard question.
All time, it's Anuak Kalsamrit.
Who?
Anuak Kalsamrit. Now, I'll give you a bit of background on him. Liam Harrison says he's the hardest puncher he's ever been hit by. So Kalsamrit Gym was where Kru Jeng used to be from. My Thai trainer Joe Ritterjack, that was his gym as well. But Anuak was sort of the late 80s to the 2005. He must have been WBC champion, Lumpini, Omnoi, stadium champion. And I love Muay mat style. So that was always me looking up to that. I loved that style. I loved him seeing. He knocked out Singh Dan. I've never seen a fight like it. You know, going for a kick and he's come over the top with a hook from hell. Present, it'd have to probably be Superbon. I mean, from back here, my favourite fighter is always going to be Luke. It's always going to be, it's always going to be Luke. But on that stage, it's going to be Superbon.
Yeah, he's an amazing fighter.
Amazing fighter.
Beautiful knockouts, especially against Petrosian.
Yep,
who's one of the goats. You know,
that knockout, that shocked the whole scene, didn't it?
Yeah,
the way he went down.
Yeah, he completely changed the trajectory of the sport. Like now, Petrosian just hasn't fought since. It's crazy. Who is your dream fight, and why?
Do you know what? At the stage I am in my career, I don't know if I have a dream fight, but I have a dream place to fight, and that would be RWS tournament.
Yeah.
Because I think that pushing through every 5 weeks is something I definitely could do. To have names in my mind would be pretty egotistical of me at the stage I am now. So, I mean, place I'd love to fight is that RWS tournament. give it your all for 3 rounds, see who comes out on top. Last one, 5 rounds. Give it some.
Yeah, those tournaments are impressive. Winning those would be a massive feat.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like maybe at least same level as winning a championship in one championship. Yeah.
And you're taking on what? You're taking on 4 big names over 20 weeks. 4 of the biggest names.
It's difficult.
Potentially.
It's difficult, man. Especially cutting the weight that many times.
Exactly.
Really hard. What was the biggest lesson you learned living in Thailand for a year? Getting to the hard question.
Yeah. You got to know when to sprint with it. With the training, when you got to relax, when you got, there's so many in Thailand. If you're going there for 2 months, it's still a lot different to if you're going there for 6 months. That's even more completely different to a year. Coming in and watching the guys go for it over 2 months, you could see that they're there for a short amount of time. You've got to know when to, like, you'd be sprinting when you got to fight, but you've got to learn to sort of take it down a notch, especially when you have an injury or infection or anything like that. You've got to learn when to just slow yourself down when you're out in Thailand. Otherwise, you're going to run yourself into the ground, Yeah. And I've seen it happen. There was guys out there when I was in Thailand who were supposed to be out there a long, long while, end up going home early. Burnout.
I know, especially when you have fights coming up, little injuries and stuff, you find it very hard to not train, You want to train because, you have to be ready and that. But at the same time, if you don't take that time off, you might not be ready because of the injury. So
there you go.
Yeah, that's good. We were talking about young fighters before off camera, but any advice to young fighters, amateurs coming up now?
It goes back to sort of what we were saying earlier with Kieran Kettle. Get in that gym and enjoy that training. Don't tell anyone about fights. Tell them that you're training Muay Thai. Tell them that you're doing 20 kicks aside and you're doing it well. Tell them that you're doing 30. Tell them you're doing 40. Tell them you're doing 200 knees on the bag at the end of a session. Bloody hell, that was hard. But no, tell them about the achievements in training. Do not even mention a fight for the first 4 months. Get in there and enjoy it. Get in the training, enjoy it. Get in the sparring and have a nice play. It's not the sport that everyone thinks it is once you start training.
Yeah. A lot of the top fighters in any combat sport, boxing and stuff, all of them said, like, when they started, they just done it because they wanted to have fun, they wanted to protect themselves, and then, you end up falling in love with it. But if you put that pressure on yourself when you started...
You don't fall in love with it.
You don't, because, you're not going to get that fun. You're going to have it straight away. It's going to be like a job, so...
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, tomorrow night we have one championship, massive card with Thailand, Superbon, Kru fighting. Give us a few predictions. I know you're going to be a bit biased with Superbon, but give us a few predictions. How do you think the fights are going to go?
I have Jojo winning. At the end of when I was training with him, he looked so sharp, and even then he still had a month or so to go. And he's got some grit behind him as well. Like, even when boxing with him, his boxing's fantastic. And I know he's against a kicker, but he's very good at that as well. And he's fantastic coming forward. And he started to adopt, like, the Superbon style at the end of it as well.
Yeah.
And that's obviously where he's been training there for a little while now. I have Nico winning by a body shot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, guys, that's what it's right there, isn't it?
Can't miss.
I do feel like it's gonna be a body shot against the Bill, and I have Superbon winning on points. In the first fight, I think he had a little bit of injury going on. I can't share too much information into it.
Okay.
But I think this second fight, I think Superbon, his style adapts, so he's always changing. Tawanchai, I didn't see any change in the next second Joe Natawat fight. So I feel like he's still in the stage of his career where he's sort of, this is working. I'm kicking hard. I'm a superstar. Let's just keep going with it. Superbon, he'll change his style to adapt to whoever he's fighting or sparring. I've seen it in sparring as well. So I think Superbon wins it tomorrow night.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that Tawanchai hasn't shown as much improvements as Superbon. I'm not going to lie. Tawanchai is my favourite fighter. Maybe it's because I'm Southpaw as well.
Yep.
But I love watching him fight. We're going to see a good fight tomorrow.
We're
going to see a good fight tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was excited to see Superlek as well. I was disappointed to see him getting injured, but
That would have been fight of the century, I think.
Who do you think wins that? Carrillo or Superlek?
I think Superlek.
Mm-hmm.
I think Superlek. I feel like it's going to be extremely difficult to put away Superlek. And that's because Superlek's also aggressive, like Carrillo. So it would have been a fantastic fight. You know, he's always on that front foot, whether he's kicking, whether he's going low, whether he's hitting you with hands, elbows.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been a very close fight, and I don't think anyone would have got stopped. But I think Superlek would have won it on points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Carrillo had a chance of winning on points. I don't think so. You know.
Not on points. Not on points.
Yeah.
I think Carrillo has a massive chance of stopping anyone he goes in against, especially at his height, going into 65 and how big he is.
Mm-hmm. He's massive. Like
he's
I
massive.
Don't know how he makes that.
He's taller than me. You know. When I saw him, he was outside Raja, and my missus wanted a photo with him, didn't she? So bloody hell, saying that he's massive.
I thought he was like 5'9" or something.
I'm probably about that, so he must have been about 5'10", 5'11".
Okay. And he's got so much muscle in him. I mean,
yeah, he has.
Even when I was watching his press conferences a few days ago, he looked like he already went through a weight cut.
Yeah.
He looks absolutely drained, but he comes in full and healthy every time, so.
There you go.
Yeah, anyway. Okay. So we're going to do a little would you rather game.
Let's do it.
So first, Thai or UK training?
Thai.
Thai, okay. Quick. Why so quick?
I loved it out there. Food, life, culture, getting in that gym every day. Thai.
Okay. Go to walkout songs. The fight of your life. And what's the song you want to walk out to?
Do you know what? I was going to have it, but the DJ wouldn't let me last time. Only Fools and Horses theme song. The Only Fools and Horses, the theme song.
Okay. Sweet. Samrat's teep or Diesel Noise knees? It comes with his height as well.
Diesel Noise knees.
Yeah? Okay. Sanchez IQ or Samrat's IQ? I don't have an answer to this question.
Sanchez.
Yeah?
Sanchez IQ.
For you, knee or elbow?
Elbow.
Elbow. Superlex right kick or Yod Sankai's left?
Oh. He's prime. Yod Sankai's left.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. His left kick was menacing.
You could just hear the rattle through YouTube.
Yeah, he has the power.
Shaking the phone and dropping the phone.
I'm telling you. Carrillo's right hand or Haggerty's teep?
See, I like the punching. I'm saying Carrillo's right hand.
Yeah, it's an equal.
Because I can't relate to those teeps. I can't be doing those acrobatics in there. Yeah. You know where he comes back, steps forward. I just look. Yeah. That's perfect for me.
He done that teep to me once, and mate, it has some power in this.
Yeah,
because he's small. I was surprised about how much power he had on him. Thai food or British pub food?
Oh, you can't do it to me.
Hopefully your dad won't see this.
Monday to Friday, Thai food. If I could have a roast dinner or a pie and mash on the weekend, that would be my life complete.
Yeah?
So for the most part, it's Thai.
Yeah, okay. Home cooked meal or takeaway?
Home cooked.
Yeah? I'm one of them. You're a little bit of a cook, right?
I'm one of them, mate. Yeah. I love it. Get me in there, a couple of knives, listen, get some good food in. I could do that.
Yeah, easy. Phuket or home, probably?
Phuket or home? I'm saying home. You know.
Gotta love your roots, eh?
That's it.
This one is hard. I have an answer to it. Burkau or Sanchai? Who you prefer?
Burkau.
Burkau, yeah? He is an icon, isn't he? Yeah.
Even how he fights now, it's like he doesn't care. Hands down, when he throws something, he does it like just because he thinks it looks good. You know what I mean? I honestly love him how he fights.
An absolute beast. He had a fight against the Japanese guy, right?
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name, but that was an impressive fight.
In RWS, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he's like in his 40s. It's impressive. What's your favorite weapon to use?
I'm a southpaw as well. So if you took my left kick away from me, I'd be lost. You know, I'd be like a lost puppy.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a good few elbows in this year in Thailand. I love an elbow as well.
Okay.
That one, the left elbow coming down. That's a personal favourite.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's definitely left kick. I don't know what I would do without left kick.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Southpaw as well would be lost without it, wouldn't we?
Yeah, exactly. Last question. It's not a would you rather, but if there was one thing you could change about Muay Thai or combat sports, what would it be?
Oh, what would I change about Muay Thai combat sports? I'd be silly to not mention the weight cut, even though I don't think there's a solution to it. I've got the answer. Cheaper ticket prices, especially for the UK.
Yeah, he's right.
Mental, mate. Absolutely mental to go watch your mates fight. In Thailand, very good on that front. I think those two would be it. Better weight cut solution, and make it easier to go watch your mates fight or you fight. So yeah.
What do you think about the pay in Muay Thai? I know I said it's the last one. Just put this in. I just want to know.
Do you know what it is? Although fighters deserve a hell of a lot more money, you would not have the same passion and joy from it if they were getting paid loads. Yeah. Muay Thai is built on passion, on a love for it in certain aspects, especially in the UK. I mean, in Thailand, I know that they have to do it for money, as lifestyle, paid for the family, that kind of thing. But I feel like a lot of it comes from, well, especially like people going into boxing, MMA, they do it because they know there's a few quid lying down the road.
Yeah, true. A bit like MMA now. It's a lot about just like the status of being an MMA fighter now. People
exactly.
Want to just have it because it's cool now.
Yeah, yeah.
And Muay Thai, a lot of people don't even know what it is. So
yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it's been Ryan and Combat Kru. It was nice to have you, mate.
Been an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure it's been.
Anything you want to plug?
We're in the Sydney Arms in Chislehurst at the moment, the best pub in the world. It's the centre of the world in here. Get down to the Sydney Arms in Chislehurst. How about that?
Yeah, it's a beautiful little pub, guys, so come down.